leadership of the intelligence agencies, as appointed by President Bola Tinubu, now take over what becomes a strategic move by the president. But what lies ahead of these intelligence agencies and these leadership will be getting some insight on the task ahead. The fractional national chairman of APGA, Okeonwa, says INEC should not recognize Edoze Njoku as the national chairman of the party, as a Supreme Court judgment which validates him, according to him, is now invalid. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimbale here in Abuja. Let's begin by bringing you up to speed with some of the major stories that we are following for you. First and foremost, to avert a university lecturers' strike, representatives of the federal government and members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, today have met in a strategic move to stop the impending industrial action by the university lecturers and ASUU, and will now reconvene again on the 6th of September. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mahman, says the government is working with ASUU to fashion out modalities to address the contentious issues. He announced that a new executive of the leadership of the pro-chancellors now been formed to address the concerns raised by the lecturers.
We don't need to have any issue, but they were involved in the process that resulted in the suspension of the strike the last time. As we all know, but the whole world knew, the person who was coordinating the resolution then was the President Chief of Staff to the President. So we thought that when we came in, this issue would have been resolved as quickly as possible. But in 15 months, virtually all the issues have not been resolved. So we believe that from this meeting, we're going to have some landmarks of what we can tell our members, and then we evaluate what we have done and what we will do in the next, I think we have just about 10 days left, and see what we'll do, and then we're going to go to our members, and then we can take a decision.
This government is about concern about the progress of facilities, development of staff, and their welfare, as we all are. Of course, there are challenges here and there, competing needs here and there, but that notwithstanding, for certain, this government is quite committed to giving the university system the best that it deserves.
There's so much to tell you tonight on the program. Please sit tight, everyone. I need to take you around your political roundup stories first, then I'll come back to give you more updates.
President Bola Tinubu is set to soon present the Assembly for legislative action. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, said this today in Abuja during a meeting tagged Implementing the Whistleblowing Policy in Nigeria, Issues, Challenges and the Way Forward. The minister says the federal government expects the support of Nigerians in making the policy work towards enhancing transparency and accountability. The secretary to the government of the federation is calling for measures to address the impact of climate change, which he says is shrinking Nigeria's landmass and depleting its natural resources. The SGF, represented by a senior special assistant, technical, stated this at an event organized by the deputy chairman of the House Committee on Environment to address the farmer-herder clashes. The European Union is urging the Nigerian government not to relent in her efforts to protect democracy in Nigeria and on the continent, regardless of the recent setbacks that this form of government has suffered in some West African countries. The outgoing European Union head of delegation to Nigeria and West Africa, Samuela Isopi, gave the charge at a farewell meeting with the leadership of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Abuja.
I would like to take the opportunity to say something I said in the past few days. I think the best for Nigeria is yet to come. Nigeria has all the assets, all what is needed to get out of these challenges and to be great. Nigeria is already great.
The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, promises to continue the partnership with the European Union and other partners to deepen democracy in the country.
We support the National Assembly, we support the judiciary, civil society organizations, and the media. We have worked very closely with you, and I want you to assure you are successful that the same spirit of partnership and cooperation will continue to exist between INEC and the EU.
There you've been served with your political roundup stories. Let's also tell you that the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to meeting the September deadline for hosting the $5 billion African Energy Bank. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Senator Ainikin Lopobri, made this declaration during a meeting with Omar Farouk Ibrahim, the Secretary General of the African Petroleum Producers Organization.
We want to very emphatically state that Nigeria is committed to meeting our obligations as a host country. We are working day and night to ensure that we meet up the September ending deadline. And we believe that we will be able to meet the deadline. Even if we do not meet the deadline, the whole of Africa will see that, look, everything is almost in place. And the bank, can actually, start off. The issues you raised, which are the host country agreement, the headquarters building, and then the balance of the subscription. These three issues are issues that we are working very seriously, to fulfill, before the end of September, so that the bank can actually, start off.
All right. In other crimes, they will be referred to as Homeland Security and Foreign Intelligence Chiefs. But we have a different nomenclature for them right here in Nigeria. So it was over the weekend when there was a change of guard in the major Nigerian intelligence agencies. The NIA and the DSS. President Bola Tinubu approved the appointment of Adeola Ajayi as the Director General of the State Services, the DSS, to replace Mr. Yusuf Bichi, who was appointed by former President Muhammadu Buhari in 2018. The President also appointed Mohammed as the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency. Take a look at their pictures there, those who are in and those who are out. Bichi out, Ajayi in, Mohammed in the NIA, and of course, Abubakar out at the NIA. So Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi is now the new DG and the new chief of the DSS. Why Yusuf Magaji Bichi is now out? He served under Buhari. Both of them, Ahmed Abubakar and Bichi, served under President Muhammadu Buhari, and President Tinubu inherited their leadership into his government. Of course, there are those who will say Ajayi will lead the Homeland Security apparatus, as being known in other crimes, why the Foreign Intelligence Chief, similar to the CIA in the United States, to be led by Mohammed now. Is it coincidence that the president made those appointments around the same day, around the same time? It looks like there is a strategy behind it. A lot of people will think in the security community, those thinking will come up when you make those kind of changes around the same time, especially because intelligence is at the heart, especially at home and abroad, is at the heart of national security. And again, you will look at it that these two men, one is taking over today and the other took over yesterday. Now, what does this mean for our national security? I'm being joined tonight by someone who is in the know. He's played all his life in that water, in the Nigerian Department of State Services. He rose to becoming a director. Chief Mike Ejiofor. Thank you so much, Moses Ali, for joining me.
Thank you very much.
With your red hat, it signifies that you've got some chieftaincy title, isn't it?
No, I don't. I don't intend to be one. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's get a sense, simply and straightforward. Is it strategic, or is there any meaning to the president's decision of these two intelligence agencies? These are probably the biggest of intelligence agencies in Nigeria, as and they were changed within 48 hours?
I think it's strategic. There's no meaning to it. If you recall that when the president came in, he changed the service chiefs, leaving the two intelligence agencies. And of course, one can hazard a guess. The reasons are obvious. That operations are driven by intelligence. And maybe he needed to give them time to settle down with the new service chiefs that are taking over. And I think he has a prerogative. The president has a prerogative to appoint and to fire. So I don't think it's a normal thing, it's a routine thing that he has decided this time to get the two people replaced. But I must also, if you see the release from the special advisor to the president, he commended the two service intelligence officers and wished them well. For Mr. Bichi, I think he has done his bit. He has done well to the best of his ability. And the incoming DG, Mr. Tussle, also a lot of expectations from him, awaiting him as he takes over. So I also want to wish him well in his new appointment.
I mean, it's interesting. So you look at it, a few times we've had situations where DSS DG have been brought from outside to head the agency, but Tussle is someone who started his career, grew to be a director, has led several states just like you did in the DSS. And what kind of quality does that kind of personality, someone you can call him a system man, you understand the DSS from his day one till up until getting to the highest office at the Director General. What does that mean for the service?
Well, it means a great deal, a lot for the service. First of all, if you appoint, I have always advocated against it, appointing people from outside or retired, because it kills career progression. So you can see that with his appointment, he's very much welcome, and he helps to enhance, career progression for the serving officers. Everybody's looking up to. There's only one person that will be DG at a time. We don't expect everybody to be DG, but if you are working towards a limit or an apex, and you don't have the opportunity of getting there, one is discouraged. So for Mr. Ajayi, the much I know about, because I know him very well, just like I also know Mr.
You are a senior, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like I know Mr. Bichi. He's handled complex and difficult states. If you look at River State, for instance, he was able to manage the dramatis personae in a stormy political terrain of River State. And looking at, you understand what I mean, the problems in the, but he was able to manage it. So I expect also that he will be able to bring this to bear at the national front, reconciling people, bringing the staff together, and uniting Nigeria.
We don't know what exactly the issues were. Either people were jubilating, we saw some social media videos, whether they were jubilating about Tussle Ajayi or they were happy about the exit of Bichi. We don't know which is. I mean, it could be either of the two, either a jubilation of the entrance of Tussle Ajayi or the exit of Bichi. It could be any of the two. But whatever be the case, there seems to be a new energy now, considering the kind of social media that emerged from the DSS. And a lot of people will imagine that for an entity like that, for that kind of video emerging, it means something.
Yeah, well, I think I was on another platform yesterday. Some of those videos are old videos, as far back as 2018, not new videos. Mischief makers, if you look at the social media, the way they go about all this. But granted, without conceding that it's a new thing. In any given society, when you have new appointments like that or elections are over, people are bound to jubilate. Some people will say, yeah, we're happy our man is coming in. Some people will say that, so it's a natural thing. I don't think there's any, but I think it's just the work of mischief makers, because the SSS is a professional body. Anybody who must have put all those, whether it is old or new, you just have to cause mischief. And I think also the DG will address that.
So you look at Mohammed, he's also an NIA born-bred professional. Started his career off in 1995 or so, and he grew to the ranks, served in Libya, served in Korea, Pakistan, and he's also had an opportunity to grow, even to work, to serve in the State House before now becoming the DG of the NIA. Now, this is another insider becoming the Director General of that agency. From your own point of view, what does that also mean?
Yeah, you see, like I said, apart from enhancing career progression, that people are there, you will possibly, you have worked with a lot of them, you know their capacity, you know their capabilities. Unlike somebody who has retired, you must have worked with some people too, but you might not ascertain their capacity at any given time. But somebody who is in service knows the people. So I expect that the two of them should not only work together, both for the domestic and the external intelligence, but they should also be able to get their staff, motivate staff, and push them. I'm sure they are coming in with vibrant and new ideas that will take the services, the two services, to the next level.
But what kind of handshake are you expecting? Do they usually, does the DSS and NIA work together?
Oh, sure. They work. They are expected to work there, and they have been working together. Because if you get a foreign external intelligence that concerns internal security, you pass it on to the domestic intelligence service, which is the SSS. And if you have any external intelligence too, generated by the SSS, it's passed on to the NIA, which is the foreign intelligence service, for them to act upon. So there must be that synergy. And don't also forget that the president charged them to work closely, especially with the National Security Advisor, to ensure we have enormous security challenges. We have a lot of security challenges. And I think the only way to go about it is not just synergy and collaboration between the two intelligence services, but with other security, the armed forces and the police. Police, of course, you know, is the lead agency in terms of maintenance of.
So usually, people have always criticized our intelligence as always being our vulnerable spot in terms of national security.
I don't think so. But the problem is that the intelligence is available, but in terms of execution, in terms of capacity of the action agencies, you see they are handicapped, so you don't blame them. So I believe that as they come in, as we are generating intelligence, you must also be able to get these people to work together and ask the federal government to look more closely in terms of funding, in terms of training, in terms of welfare for the personnel of the agencies, so that they'll be able to effectively handle our security challenges.
Yeah. Let me bring in some other perspectives. I'm being joined by a scholar and extreme violence and terrorism expert and analyst, Mr. Bulama Bukati, who joins us virtually from London. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight. I mean, what's your own view? There are those who will say the CIA of Nigeria is the NIA, the DSS is the Homeland Security, and you see this kind of appointment. It comes in the same month there was a threat which the federal government has come out to say that protest could be a threat to our national security. And we're seeing intelligence agencies' heads or chiefs being changed. What do you make of it from your own point of view?
You see, I think the resignation of the two directors general and their replacement in 1 week would not be a coincidence. When we see these kinds of resignations, is usually triggered by the president himself or those authorities responsible, where they ask the heads or persons responsible for particular positions to resign, so that it is on record that they resigned, but the resignation was asked for by the president or the appointing authority. And I think this could be what happened in this situation. It could be the presidency asking these two directors general to resign, and then the president now appointed two new heads of the two intelligence agencies. And so I don't think it's a coincidence. And when we see presidents do that, it is either they are not very happy or satisfied with the job those who are resigning are doing, or maybe they are happy, they are satisfied, but they do want to reshape things in terms of remodeling the kinds of the approach to security or the particular issue at hand, in this case, the intelligence agencies. So I think it was triggered most likely by the presidency, and it could be because the presidency wants to change the way things are at the intelligence agencies concerned, or the president is not satisfied with what is going on. And of course, we wish well to those who have been relieved of their duties or who have resigned. And we also wish well and good luck to those who have just started. They are going to face a daunting task because they would be navigating a complex security environment. I am talking about the new directors general, but they are also going to deal with the need to build or enhance capacity and trust, public trust amongst these security agencies. But we do wish them well, and I'm sure they would work side by side with the National Security Advisor and the service chiefs, as well as the Inspector General of Police and other paramilitary like the Customs and Immigration, because we need them to all work together. We need all hands on deck. We need them to work in synergy and coordination and cooperation for us to succeed as a country.
Do you see any correlation whatsoever? Because there was an incident on the ground here in Nigeria, and there are inferences that are being drawn to those who are in the intelligence community that will tell you that the incident, either the raid in the labor house, which the police came on this program to say, look, it has an international dimension and there is a character that the police are in search of, and also what happened and what in the protest, and those who in the intelligence community who will tell you that there are some external and fifth columnists who also played a role in mobilization or whatsoever. Do you see any correlation in this appointment or relieving of duties and this appointment to all of what has happened over the last week in this same month?
Look, I don't want to second guess the president, and it's very difficult to go into his mind to understand what might have played a role. But I think one thing we do need to consider is the fact that both of these directors general were appointed by the previous president, and it is mostly almost a convention now. It is almost a tradition or a culture, if you like, that new presidents appoint new service chiefs and new intelligence agent heads. So this could be the factor, but I am not completely ruling out that the recent protests might have played a role and the other issue you mentioned, but I don't know, and I don't want to start second guessing on a national television. It is possible that they did play a role in the mind of the president when he was making these decisions, but I do think it is more important for us to look at the fact that these were individuals appointed under President Buhari, and the Director General of the DSS has spent at least 5 years serving, and I think it's time for someone else to come and show their ability and capability and wherewithal. And so I do think whatever could be the reason, the most important thing is for these the new heads to understand that we are facing a very complex security environment in our country, and there is deficit of trust and confidence in the intelligence and law enforcement agencies in Nigeria, and they have to start acting very quickly to restore public confidence, to strengthen or enhance institutional integrity within the agencies they would be heading, but also work assiduously together with other stakeholders in this area to get a grips of the security challenges we have in the country.
Yeah, one thing that is important, though, is the roles of these agencies compared to what we see in the UK. It's different. MI5, isn't it? It's called in the UK. CIA in the United States. But with their roles, what are the tasks do you think that are ahead of these new chiefs?
Yeah, so we know that these are two distinct agencies, but which are supposed to work together under the National Security Advisor. We know that the NIA is the body responsible for external threats and foreign intelligence. So they are mostly dealing with anything that has to do with external threat to Nigeria's existence or to Nigeria's security and defense, and also gathering foreign intelligence and undertaking counterintelligence operations. While on the other hand, the DSS is concerned with domestic threats and domestic intelligence. And so their focus is about what is it that is threatening Nigeria and its corporate existence, its national security inside the country. So both agencies are fundamental to our national security, but they do have a slightly different jurisdiction and remit and focus. But both of them are expected to work together, as Chief Mike alluded to, and they are both expected to work together with the National Security Advisor in particular and the presidency in general. So they do need to work together. And when you look at our threats, showing the current threats in the country, whether it's the Boko Haram threat or the situation in the northwest or the northeastern part, the southeastern part of Nigeria, all of these threats are within Nigeria, but they do get fed from by, you could say, funding in some cases, but also equipment and weapons and ammunitions which are imported into Nigeria from outside the country. And so you can see a role for the DSS there, you can see a role for the NIA there, and they have to work together. But also when you have stuff like the protests, like you said, the protests we know developed organically inside Nigeria because of the socio-economic circumstances in the country. But there are accusations or allegations by the government that there were foreign elements who influenced or funded part of the protest or all of it. And so you can see a role also for both agencies coming together to work together in this kind of environment. And of course, we are dealing with a very fast-changing world in terms of cybersecurity, in terms of economic sabotage, which both have internal and external elements in terms of both domestic and, the factors that are outside Nigeria. And so I think more than ever before, these two agencies have got to work together. They have got to plan, coordinate their activities together, and it's not just about sharing intelligence or knowledge, but it's about working together, hands in glove, in order to tackle the challenges, because almost no challenge right now in Nigeria that is within their remit is either exclusively domestic or exclusively external. They are both intertwined, and they have got to understand this dynamic and work together if they were to succeed.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Bukati. Before we wrap up this conversation, from an expert, for someone who has been on the inside for several years, how can the president get the most out of these two men? And what do you see them being able to achieve if they work together?
Well, if they work together, they are no magicians. They will expect that they will work together, but they need more of citizen support. People should be conscious of the environment, conscious of their responsibility, not only to the services, but to the state. And it's very, very key. If people don't cooperate, and I want to use this last opportunity too, to advise our politicians, because more than 70% of our security challenges are politically generated. So they should think of Nigeria, not themselves. That's the only way you can assist these people to succeed in tackling some of these security challenges. Let's think Nigeria first.
How strategic or significant is intelligence at this point that we are in our country?
Very, very important, very key, because there are operations being carried out by the action agencies, the military, and the police are driven by intelligence. So they must provide accurate and timely intelligence to enable the country succeed.
Mr. Mike Ejiofor, thank you so much. Always a pleasure giving us this kind of insight. I appreciate your time. And Mr. Bulama Bukati, thank you so much also for the knowledge you have shared with us, both of you. Thank you so much indeed for your time. We take a break, everyone, but when we come back, we talk partisan politics. What is happening in the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA? But they call it APGA. But when we come back, well, is the APGA in trouble? Or APGA is ready for some kind of revolution? What exactly is happening with their leadership? Is it Edozie Njoku or Sly Ezeokenwa? We'll find out after this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Mr. Sylvester Ezeokenwa is laying claims to the national chairmanship of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, and it's come after Chief Edozie Njoku, who has been recognized by INEC and links to what has become a now controversial position of the court on the position of the national chairman of the party, and the reason why Chief Edozie Njoku has now been recognized as the national chairman of the party. A lot of controversies have been generated. We do understand that the office of Edozie Njoku in Anambra has been shut, but Mr. Ezeokenwa today at a press conference is saying that ruling that Chief Njoku is relying on is not valid. Let me allow you to listen to him.
And I dare say, till date, there is no judgment of any court of law in Nigeria that has nullified the convention that brought us to office. Because before you nullify a convention conducted by APGA, you must join APGA as a political party that conducted that convention. The FCT High Court never granted any of the relief sought by the plaintiffs to the effect that the Supreme Court declared Edozie Njoku national chairman by the correction of the clerical slip. Neither did the Court of Appeal declare Chief Njoku chairman of APGA in the two Court of Appeal judgments, because the latest Court of Appeal judgment was the one delivered on the 28th day of June 2024.
Now, Chief Edozie Njoku joins us live here in our studio. Thank you so much for joining us indeed.
Thank you very much indeed.
So you are not factional, you are national chairman.
I'm the national chairman of the party.
But what you heard what Sly Ezeokenwa said, that ruling that you are relying on is not valid.
What the young man is trying to do is to just bring up some controversies, because he sees how well the Anambra people have received my being national chairman. That's even why they went and shut down the office. The first question I'm going to ask him is that on June 6th or May 10th beforehand, we were in court. First of all, it was a real poetic justice. They said I forged the Supreme Court judgment. They went to the police, then the police charged me for forgery of a Supreme Court judgment. They got the registrar of the courts of the Supreme Court to write a letter through the director of media, Akande, which was released to all the members of press, saying that I forged a Supreme Court judgment. I wrote a letter to the judges myself. The lead judge, before she retired, replied to it. It triggered off me writing again to the CJN. The CJN replied and advised me to come by a different order 8 or something, Rule 16, which we did. And when we got there, Onyechi Bazo and Ikweto were their lawyers. They left the area of accidental slip and went in and brought in so many other allegations, saying that a court in Oka had made them chairman, and the Court of Appeal answered all those questions, one by one by one. I reminded them that a mistake they made was that nobody ever disputed Edozie Njoku as national chairman. They ran after Jude Okeke when Jude Okeke's name was, who was purportedly my deputy. His name now came up when the lower court gave him judgment against me. It was against me they gave him the judgment, and INEC took his name in. And they ran after Jude Okeke. Running after Jude Okeke, they never for one day got up to say Chief Edozie Njoku was never the national chairman of APGA. I tried to join at that Court of Appeal. They didn't join me. So I went into the Supreme Court as an interested party after, and they granted me. I removed Oye's name entirely from that. Now, we went off to a lower court, which was a court in Buhari. I didn't. I was already being charged there for fraud. They said I fraudulently forged a Supreme Court judgment. The two gentlemen now went ahead and went to the CJ of the FCT saying that they want to know who is going to bring the candidates of the party. The court now looked at the case. But while they were doing that, Oye rushed off to do congresses and then finally a convention. While they were doing the congresses, they went to the court and reported to the court that these guys, while we are hearing who is really, you're trying to enforce the judgment, whether is it a true judgment of the Supreme Court or not, they went off to do congresses and the court stopped them from doing any congresses, from doing any convention. But they went ahead brazenly. Festus Okoye went to monitor the convention. Even the governor was live on these channels doing that convention. At the end of the day, the court ruled that both judgment and ruling, that everything they did, every congress, every meeting, any convention was illegal, completely illegal. And INEC continued recognizing it, and Oye had perpetuated the act, and we went on to a contempt charge that they had no right to go and bring out Sly with a court order. And that was granted.
So, I mean, recently, INEC recognized you as the national chairman.
Yes, by virtue of the judgment they now went off to the Court of Appeal, saying that the judgment of the lower court was rubbish, and the Court of Appeal still upheld the judgment of the lower court. Yeah. And that was at that point.
So, this is all political, isn't it? Because we're talking about a political party. There are insinuations on the ground that you are being sponsored by somebody to bring down APGA. Who is sponsoring you?
Is it anybody that just gets up, wakes up, and makes an allegation? From the way we've handled the party in the shortest period of time we've been there, do we look as if we've been sponsored by anybody to bring the party down?
Are you the one sponsoring yourself?
Yes, exactly. And we're not here for me to start shouting household. Yes, I'm the one sponsoring myself.
You have that means to be able to sponsor.
How do you know I don't?
I'm asking.
Yes, I'm telling you, yes.
There's a lot of Nigerians who do not know you tonight will be wondering, who is Edozie Njoku? Does he have the capacity to be able to carry?
Edozie Njoku is a person who doesn't sit at high tables. Edozie Njoku is the one who his first son was the Director of Strategy to the Prime Minister of England. Edozie Njoku is the one who is, if you Google my name, you see the sort of businesses. But I don't sit on high tables. I don't even want to be known. The job I have at hand is to get APGA right.
But why is it so important for you to be leader and the chairman of APGA?
Why is it that if I won a convention to be national chairman, should I just give it to you to become the chairman?
I'm not interested. We're talking about you and your friends.
No, it's not my friends. Wait, hold on, Sheku. The question I've got to, the question is a very, very hard question. What do you mean, do I have to be? You should go to a governor and tell him, you should go to a governor who has won his election and tell him, do you have to be the governor of the state? Yes, he won his election. Yes.
So the question I'm asking is that because you've gone back and forth to the court, to the point that your name had been dragged as someone who stole.
And my name, my name was cleared in the court, that court was cleared. And there should have been a thorough apology from channels, because you are the ones who propagated that news. You are going on that line again. I was cleared by the court.
You are very wrong.
There should have been an apology from everyone who said I forged that.
You are very wrong there,
okay, on which one?
If we have an official position from court.
What is the official
just
position?
A moment. Just a moment. If you have an official position Not until recently. We have invited you on this program.
Yes, you have.
And speaking to you as a national chairman,
thank you.
has recognized just for a moment.
I'm the national
Chief
chairman.
Njoku.
But you have no right to ask me
Chief
why
Njoku.
am I consistently
Chief Njoku,
going on in the battle.
Just for a moment. If INEC has recognized you,
yes,
and before now, INEC recognized another person.
Exactly.
Whom Channels has recognized, because that is what is lawful.
Yes.
So what is wrong in that?
There was a court order on a court
which you brought on this program,
which was sent to you in writing. A court order was sent to all the channels saying there is a court order stopping INEC, stopping Oye from them carrying out the convention. This channel went on live carrying that. Suddenly at the end of
the convention.
On the so-called convention, which there was a court order. That so-called convention now had
the contentious convention.
The one that
you do not agree with.
No, not that I do. A court stopped that convention from taking place. We must obey court orders. And suddenly, when INEC did not obey the court order, there was a contempt charge against them. When Oye carried on, there was a contempt charge against him. Once there is a court order, it must be obeyed.
Now, the question here is, are you working with Governor Soludo? Because that's the only governor of APGA that we know.
Let me answer that question better for you. Even on channels, I've consistently asked for peace previously. I've been talking peace, peace, peace. Governor Soludo spoke with me. I went to his house. I was with him for 3 hours.
When is this?
About a month ago.
After
I was recognized by INEC. I went to his house, sat down with him for 3 hours. He spoke for 2 hours, 45 minutes, and I listened to him very, very carefully. I spoke for 15 minutes, but that 2 hours, 45, I listened to him. You know what he eventually did? He went and rushed to the House of Assembly and said that they are the ones who are now going to be recognizing the chairman that are going to emerge for the local government elections. A man who is talking peace, how would he do that?
So you do not see, you agree with him, or what exactly was the outcome of that meeting, the 3 hours meeting?
What was finally the outcome of the meeting? I told him that what I would like you to do is to find independent lawyers, sons. I even said Yoruba sons that are not Igbo. He included, there's some good Hausa sons. I said, yeah, I said, go to Lagos, get some good sons, and I'll provide you with documents, all the documents from the Court of Appeal to the Federal High Court, to the Supreme Court, and let them read it. When they read it, you will find out that most of what these people are telling you are not true. For example, Sly is here telling us that is a document from the CJ that is is a fresh fact. You know, he said it's a fresh fact that we did not disclose all the facts. And this is a document that they've tendered twice in court. That's what I have here. They tendered it in the Court of Appeal. They tendered it in...
So as far as you are concerned, it's not a fresh fact?
It's not a fresh fact. And it was considered in this. It was considered in this. Look at one of the paragraphs of what I replied to him.
Invariably, you are not on the same page with Governor Soludo.
We're not on the same page now. I'm the national chairman of the party. He's the governor. When there is a crisis in PDP, for example, and let's say there were 7 governors or 6, if there are 4 on this side and 3 on this side, once one side wins or is recognized by INEC, the other ones will come and recognize the chairman, but they might be still fighting. I asked him a simple question. I said to him, His Excellency, one of your close aides was in my house, and he asked me a question. The question he asked me was, what would I do if I was Soludo in this matter? I said, what I would do if I was Soludo was, when that 25th of I think it was October 2023, when there was an amended judgment, and it read that my removal as Chief Edozie Njoku is not justiciable, it's an internal party affair, I would have called to speak with him, speak to Edozie Njoku, Chief Edozie Njoku. And I would have told him, I cannot really come out and finance anything you are doing because I was sponsored by Oye. But what I would do for the interest of the parties, if you are recognized or if you win this battle, I will recognize you. Just go, but I won't get involved. I'm going to face my governance of Anambra State.
You think him not recognizing you portends more trouble for APGA?
Him doing what he's doing, even like people going to scatter APGA, we shouldn't be doing things like that. Him not recognizing me as a recognized person of APGA, he's setting the party backwards.
Let me ask you, do you know the consequence of some of what is going on in APGA at the moment?
The consequence is that the person who is suffering the most of it is himself. Because I give you an example. All those people who have moved out from him, who have now done primaries on my side for the local government election, are now not with him any longer. So him for his governorship, he's fractionalized. You understand? No matter what he does, you can't be going for an election in 6 to 9 months' time and you are entrenching yourself in such a battle.
So you are the one that is conducting the primary?
Yes, yes, we will conduct the primary as the party.
But I thought that should be handled by the state. It's a local government affair.
Yes, obviously, but we have state chairmen, don't we?
So there are those that are loyal to you.
They are not loyal. They are not loyal to me. In the Supreme Court judgment, they said everything happened in Owerri. The convention that is recognized by the Supreme Court is the Owerri Convention, starting from the ward to the national.
So it means that they politically, if APGA loses the grip on local government authorities, I mean, in any case, Anambra has not held local government elections in several years.
Over 20-something.
That's on since under.
The first questions we've got to be asking is the mere fact that the governor has gone to the House of Assembly to say that the House of Assembly will now sign the nomination forms of those who are going to be candidates. It's not done that in any way. It is the party that signs that.
So the question I'm asking, should or if APGA loses grip on the chairmanship of the local government because of this crisis,
APGA will not lose grip on the chairmanship.
No. I mean, you're a politician. You know that it's a game either to lose or to win.
Anambra State is wholly APGA. Anambra State is 90% APGA.
Peter Obi is of Labour Party. Is from Anambra State.
Anambra State is 90% APGA.
There are APC forces.
A lot of people in Anambra State, Southeast, are not quite happy with the situation in Labour. They're not happy with the situation in APC. They're not happy with the situation in PDP.
So I'm asking you, if anything goes wrong, there's a governorship election which Governor Soludo
Like what will go wrong?
And if anything could go wrong, it's a local government election that the people of Anambra State are alien to as far as the last few years is concerned. They've not seen that kind of election happen. It could go either way.
Yes, and anything.
Labour Party won massively in the presidential election in Anambra State.
Anything can be going wrong in Labour at the moment. Anything can be going wrong in PDP at the moment. Anything can be going wrong in APC at the moment.
But
anything can equally well go wrong.
If you and Governor Soludo are not on the same page, don't you think it might affect the chances of your party at next year's governorship election?
That's what I've said. I've said that. Yes, most likely. Most likely.
Those who are now saying that ultimately Njoku's plan is to scuttle Soludo's second term.
Should I give you some information? I was the first vice national chairman of this APGA in 2002 when it was registered. I ran for Federal House in Onitsha. I'm from Imo. I was a Federal House candidate when Peter Obi ran in 2003. It was me who hosted TOFA in my house in 1993. I'm too big for what you're saying. I'm far.
So you don't have anything against Governor Soludo?
Why should I have
Maybe by implication or by your conduct, there might be an effect on Governor Soludo's chances of re-election with what is going on.
The only thing Governor Soludo doesn't like about is I'm a man that has my own mind. Governor Soludo is looking for his SA, who he had, and he now went to an illegal convention and installed him. And APGA have said, capital, no, it will not happen. APGA must have good executives.
For you, what is the way forward? What must happen for you to
The way forward is that we have already gone on 23 local governments. We've gone on 23 states, rather, trying to reconcile them. Way forward is they are the ones who appointed, also who put in the governor of Edo State, the person who is the candidate now. I don't have a problem. I accepted him because he's APGA. I don't need to go backwards. The important thing is doing the right thing at all times and not thinking you can impose yourself on the party. But the party is what is supreme.
Would you stoop to conquer?
I've stooped a lot. I've stooped. I've gone to him. I've had meetings with him. But Soludo has never, ever.
So you want Soludo to stoop for you to conquer?
You see, you're still putting words. I said I went.
I'm asking a question.
You are just asking those questions.
You said you have stooped.
I've stooped.
Is it the turn of Soludo to stoop now?
No, Soludo might need to bend a bit. Let us hear each other.
That's what should happen.
Yes, that's exactly what should happen. Because we are the party.
Okay.
And the party is what? Supreme.
Chief Edozie Njoku, thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Very much
it's good to see you again. Thank you so much indeed for that. But that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm sure Kimale. I'll see you next time. God bless Nigeria.